everyone, we're Tim and Shannon. And this is Hornblower, our beloved Baba 40 that we've spent the last 7 years renovating and is now our home as we sail around the Caribbean. I had to fly back to the States recently to get my passport renewed, and while I was there visiting with friends and family, realized that people who aren't part of the cruising lifestyle really have no idea what our lives are like on a daily basis. So I decided to put together this video to show you what our lives are like while we are anchored here in Georgetown. Though we sometimes rise early enough to catch the sunrise, we typically wake up not long after sunrise and start our day with our beverage of choice. Coffee for Tim and a cup of tea for me. We check our email and social media and discuss anything newsworthy, check the weather, and then make a plan for the day. Sometimes we get a walk-in on the Atlantic side of the island before it gets too warm, as there's a long stretch of beach with a lot to see along the way. Other days, we have boat jobs to do and knock those out before the day gets too hot. And sometimes, what we think is a quick boat job can turn into an all-day event. There's always boat maintenance and cleaning to do. Sometimes the chores include going to the grocery store and/or the laundromat and getting fuel for the boat. When you live on a boat, your daily driver car is your dinghy. So we load everything we need into the dinghy and cross the mile-wide harbor to Georgetown. We prefer to make the trip over on calm sea days. When the water is choppy, it's not a lot of fun. And even though the water is calm this day, it can still be choppy in Kidd Cove due to current and wind, which can be a little hairy when you've got to get through the tunnel to the dinghy dock. But once through, it's calm in the lake on the other side, and Georgetown has a great dinghy dock right behind the grocery store. I usually have 2 large bags of laundry, so Tim drops me off on the other side of the lake as it's a bit closer to the laundromat. While I'm doing laundry, Tim usually heads over to replenish our fuel at the fuel dock across the lake. The main road in Georgetown is Queens Highway. In town, it makes a loop around the lake. So I hop out by the farmer's market and the other grocery store, the ShopRite, then walk through the basketball court, across the cut-through path by the playground, and cross over the main road to get to the street that the laundromat is on. In the States, you would bring your quarters and put the money in the machines, but I've learned that in most places in the Bahamas, you pay the owner or attendant, and they start the machines for you. In Georgetown, it's $4 a load to wash and $4 per load to dry, but we've paid as much as $27 per load for a wash and dry. Though, to be fair, that was the liquor mat in Staniel Key. Can't really compare a plain laundromat to the liquor mat. Usually while the clothes are drying, we'll go to the grocery store and/or grab a bite to eat. If weather permits, we'll go on a Tuesday or Saturday since the supply boat comes on Mondays and Fridays. We can usually get fresher produce then. While the Exuma market is modern, clean, and well stocked by Bahamian standards, it's definitely much smaller than grocery stores in the States. They may or may not have what you need, so you learn to substitute things or change your meal plan altogether. And sometimes there will be complete shelves empty, much like when a hurricane is headed to the States. On our trip yesterday, the entire chip shelf was empty, the entire bread shelf was empty, and there were no eggs. So we load the groceries and the laundry back in the dinghy and head back across the water to the boat. I've learned to put the clean laundry in garbage bags because if it's choppy on the way back, everything can get wet and ruined by the salty water. After unloading everything from the dinghy and putting it all away on the boat, we usually have a light lunch and as the day heats up, get in the water. If the seas are not conducive, we'll just dinghy over to the beach at the Chat and Chill and float in the water there for a few hours, discussing big ideas and solving life's problems.
Do you recall when we were young, running from all things at once, without thinking twice?
On the calm days, we try to take advantage and go pole spear fishing. Because most of the harbor is in a national park, we have to go a little ways to get outside of the park to fish, sometimes up to 14 miles by dinghy. We love pole spear fishing and exploring the reefs in the Bahamas. We've spent many afternoons in the water, usually with friends, catching grouper, lobster, trigger, snapper. There's something really fulfilling about catching your own food and having it fresh for dinner that night.
Time is gone and I grew up. I somehow made it through without losing sight. And I still...
Tim and I have a routine when we get back to the boat. While he starts cleaning the fish, I'll take a shower and get the food saver out and get the bags ready. As he gets the fish cleaned, he hands it down to me and I vacuum seal it, both to preserve it and to make room in the freezer for it. At some point, I come out on the deck to watch the 3 sharks that come around to eat the scraps, and then go back down while Tim cleans the deck. While Tim showers, I cook fresh fish for dinner. Tim has also cooked his share of the fish, and we've had some amazing meals. Our boat neighbor Gerard is also a good cook, and we've gotten into a bit of a friendly competition with him, trying to one-up each other. On the days we go out spearfishing, we're usually pretty tired when we get back, so we'll watch some TV or read a bit. And yes, we do have a TV on the boat. I get that question a lot. While we don't have cable or satellite, we can stream almost anything you'd stream back in the States. Netflix, Hulu, YouTube, NFL Plus. There's really not much we can't get. On the days that we just relax in the water by the Chat and Chill, we usually invite friends over for dinner or are invited to their boat. Again, lots of good food and drink, and sometimes even board games and karaoke. There have been days when the seas were too choppy or the weather was too bad to go anywhere. But again, we have things to keep us busy on the boat. Boat chores, video editing, TV, cards and board games, books, video chatting with friends and family back home. We've been asked, doesn't it get boring? And so far, we can say that we keep busy with the things that we love and wouldn't change it for the world. If you're enjoying our videos, don't forget to like and subscribe to us on YouTube.